Hello, welcome to another episode of Webcam Sessions. Today we're going to work on a technique that I really enjoy doing that's kind of small but has a really cool effect and can really help with endings and some cool fingerpicking type sounds. I call this the Cascade technique. And fundamentally it's a very simple idea. Instead of plucking all 4 strings together, which you can do with 4 different fingers, we'll talk about in just a moment, you're going to cascade them one after the other. And I like to go from the lowest string to the highest string. So in the case of a high G ukulele, I'll actually play the C, then E, then G, then A string, one after another. But when you do it like this, you know, in that arpeggio type of sound, it's very separated. As you speed it up, you get this really cool little burst. So we're going to learn how to kind of do that here today. On a low G ukulele, it's a little bit different. Instead, you'll go with your G, which will be an octave lower, C, E, and A, but still create the same sort of effect. So to start here, we need to talk just a little bit about 4-finger picking. And I actually have a webinar that I did with Ukulele Underground that's available for purchase right here that goes through 4-finger picking, the technique, as well as how to create your own finger picking patterns, all sorts of stuff there. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already. But otherwise, what we're going to be working on here today is this technique using 4-finger picking. Now, some of the other videos we worked on Webcam Sessions used 3. This time we're going to kick that ring finger in. So just a very, very quick run through. We want to place our ring, middle, and index fingers on our A, E, and C strings, kind of right about over the sound hole, making sure that they're all perpendicular to the strings. And as they're coming perpendicular over the strings, we want to make sure that allows our thumb to then come more in front of the other fingers, like this. By coming more in front, you're going to notice that your tone will be a little bit better, and it's a lot easier to get a very good tone because the fingers are striking the strings in a very efficient manner. And to talk just a minute about this, with my fingers being more perpendicular rather than tilted one way or another, as they strike the string, they're not wasting any effort moving along the string, they're instead just playing it. If my fingers are more like this, you'll notice that they have to pull against the string a bit, and as they pull, it's wasted effort that kind of creates this almost squeaking-like motion. So I really like trying to keep a perpendicular angle with our index, middle, and ring fingers on our C, E, and A strings. And as we pluck the strings, try to actually have your fingers coming back a little bit as you do it. Instead of trying to cusp the string and kind of pull back like this, that'll get you a really brash, brittle type of tone. Try having your finger come back a little bit, and as it releases, it's flicking the string a bit more. I notice that gets a better tone in my experience. So with that, we've got those 3 fingers all perpendicular. The thumb, however, will be about a 45-degree angle to the string and will be placed in such a way where it's in front of the other fingers. The thumb doesn't have to be parallel or perpendicular because it's a stronger finger. So you'll notice that at that 45-degree angle, you can still catch the string very nicely. And that's kind of the very, very basics to that. For more information on 4-finger picking, again, be sure to check out that video. But now that we have kind of our form here with our finger picking, what we want to gradually practice is that sort of cascade effect that I was talking about earlier. So we'll get that position all correct here. Now we'll practice playing just our C string with our index finger, then our E with our middle finger, then our G with our thumb, then our A with our ring. So index, middle, thumb, ring. C, E, G, A. Now what you'll notice as I do this is my fingers don't return back to the position before it starts over. When the finger comes up, my hand's kind of going from an open shape with the fingers on the strings to kind of more of a closed shape with the fingers off. These fingers are all coming upward into my hand with my thumb coming downward. It's almost like I'm making a fist. Not a fist, but my hand is coming a little bit loosely together. So once you get to about this speed with it, you're ready to kind of start getting that next level. And the trick for me is getting these 2 fingers to sort of bring the hand up a little bit. And now the next one needs to be my thumb, which I'm going to release off the thumb, bringing my hand down just a tad. So as I bring up these 2 fingers, the hand comes up a little bit. You'll notice the ring finger staying here on the A string, thumb on the G. Now the thumb moves the hand down, and then the ring finger on the A moves it back up a little bit. So what you'll notice is as I make this motion, my hand has this little mini movement within it to facilitate all of these motions. Now it's very easy to overdo. We don't want to be going, right? Little motions, little alterations of the hand can just help get that sort of speed. Now this technique, more than many others that we've worked on here, requires just a lot of practice, a lot of time doing it. You'll notice the speed that you gain as you work on it is more gradual than some of the other techniques, but very satisfying because it sounds really cool. To me, it sounds a lot like a piano kind of rolling along the keys. It's a very professional sound, and I really am a fan of it. And if you put it to like a C major chord, it's actually my favorite chord to do with this technique. That sounds something like this. Right? Really cool sound. So if I'm playing a song, right, and I want to end it on the C, this can be a wonderful technique to end with. And we can alter the speed to whatever we'd like that fits the sort of song. So very flexible technique, a good one to end songs with, but it's also good to use when you're trying to embellish some sort of note on the A string. So for instance, if I play that C chord again, place my finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, I can move to any one of the frets on my ukulele that has a number, and on yours very likely has a dot, and it'll sound good. So if I go from 3 to 5 to 7 to 10 to 12, sounds something like this. And now I can just kind of go back and forth between them. Maybe I go like 3, 7, 5, 10. And it creates, in my opinion, a better tone than if you were to just pluck all 4 strings simultaneously. You can hear it's a very different sound. So that's what I call the Cascade technique. It's one that I really enjoy to use that creates this really cool, very quick arpeggio type of sound. And so again, if you haven't already, be sure to check out that fingerpicking course I did with Ukulele Underground, the webinar that teaches 4-finger picking as well as how to create your own picking patterns. And you can use this technique along with that. Be sure to stay tuned for next week's episode, and I'll see you soon. It creates, in my opinion, a better tone than if you were to just pluck all 4 strings simultaneously.